What's up, Wargamers? Welcome back to World of Wargaming. I'm Isaiah. This is the Pile of Opportunity. And today, on the Pile of Opportunity, is kind of a big deal for me because for the first time, I had the balls to reach out to a company and say, like, hey, man, I really like this thing. Would you be interested in collabing and sending me some stuff to check out? Just show all of my wonderful friends on the internet. And they said yes. And today, I got said package. So the company that I reached out to was Spellcrow. Spellcrow has been around in the miniature wargaming scene for a while. They're probably, or maybe more well known for doing third-party bits and add-ons and models and proxies and stuff like that. Beautiful work. And in the past, sometime, they've begun to release their own game called Argatoria. It is a 10 millimeter rank and flank fantasy skirmish, fantasy combat army game. And I saw it first on Luke over at Geek Gaming Scenics did a video about it, and then I fell down a rabbit hole where I tried to find all the other videos that I could have find about it and watch them. And then I sent an email to Spellcrow, and they responded, and now I've got this wonderful box of stuff to open up and share with all of you, and then to build and to paint. And I love 10 millimeter. Like, I recently fell in love with small scale, and I'm gonna tell you why before we get into this box right here. So a while back, I did 2 armies for Grimdark Future, the army game, and I did them, printed them, and painted them at 6 millimeter. And then used them for a battle report. There's a link, I think, in that corner. And it blew my mind how quickly those models can be painted. I painted 2 3,000 point armies in 2 days. Like, one day for the Orcs, one day for the Eldar. Done. It requires very little effort. Like, a lot of people think that the smaller scale stuff is harder to do, and I firmly disagree. I think it's much easier to paint small scale. And another thing about these small scale models that we're going to get into in a second is that these are hand sculpted 10 millimeter models. So they're going to have that old school kind of retro model vibe to them that I absolutely adore. And so my ultimate hope is to be able to use this game to help convert some more friends to smaller scales. And I plan on doing a lot more with this than I've done with a lot of things. I'm going to try my best to do a painting video with these models that are in this box. I've not tried to do one of those since I got a new camera. And while it may not be the very best camera in the world, it is much better than the camera that I started the channel with. So I'm going to see what maybe I can get set up to try to do something like that for these models and help to show people that it really, really, really is not difficult to paint 10 millimeter models. I might do some with brush, might do some of them with the airbrush so we can see kind of both ways. I very rarely paint anything exclusively with an airbrush, but a lot of times I will like lay down bases with an airbrush, and I do almost all of my primer with an airbrush. But anyways, I'm starting to ramble and I'm getting away because I'm really excited to get into this box, and I'm starting to ramble. So I'm gonna stop doing that and flip the camera around, and we're gonna take a look at what's in this box that's going to be promptly added to the Pile of Opportunity. All right, so we got some crunkly paper bits for packing. I like that. Safe, secure. So they asked me what starter army I would want, and of course, being me, I said I wanted Lizardmen. Now, right now in the starter army lines, they have Aurochs, which is this breed of Lizardman. They have Sorgax, which is another breed of Lizardman. They have Verandis, which is a tribe of barbarians. Vendril are the 2 barbarian tribes. Sorry, my brain just completely shut down on that one. Now, they're also pretty steadily releasing content for the game. They have 2 newer armies that are out, which are Shalmorg. I'm not exactly sure how to say it. Shalmorg is a kind of an undead, chaosy beastmen kind of vibe, which is very, very cool. The beastmen, the Khazar models as they call them, look really, 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 really cool. That hopefully will be the next army that I can get my hands on. And then they have another one that's very kind of a druidic kind of vibe, kind of forest people kind of vibe. But right now, we're here to look at lizard men. I love lizard men. So in this box, there are 68 resin miniatures. 68. This box is, you know, about the size of my hand, and there are 68 models in there. That's another reason that I really, really, really like small scale gaming, because large armies can take up small spaces. At least for army games, I like them. So let's cut this open. The box is very sturdy, nice, glossy. Got a very, you know, old school kind of retro vibe to it. Let me not bust my hand up any more than it already is. Let's see what we got in here. We got bases included. Just dump it all out. Just get out of there. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we got a lot of resin here. There are 68 models in there. 68. So most of these bags have 2 sprues that have 4 models each. In the game, models go on two models per base. I can't get over this banner holder right here. Look at how cool that model is to be a 10mm model. Like, that's an enormous amount of character and detail. Look at even like the texture and the hide on the banner. That's super impressive. Plus, again, I absolutely love lizard men in all their flavors. Now, these big sons of guns right here, look at that, like, detail on like that headdress and mask. These are like a monstrous infantry unit kind of thing. So they are 1 per 25 mil square base is what they look like. They do send you slotted bases, which is not really ideal because you got to plug that hole, but it is what it is. It's nothing to write your senator about. But these models, however, we might want to send some letters about these, because these are froggy lizard goodness. They've got good texture to them. They've got amazing hair. Just a small little bit of flashing right there that's going to need to be clipped off. Now, obviously, it's resin, so we're going to wash these thoroughly before doing any kind of paint work on them. Here's a unit of the smaller, just kind of regular infantry. And they've got, like, you can see the strands of stuff on their spears. The spears have kind of a flint knap texture to them. They're big old mouths. Their little tongues in there. And all this in 10mm, man. It blows my mind. Like, to hand sculpt something like this at this scale. Like, I can't even begin to wrap the artistic side of my brain around it. Again, I'm not really a sculptor. I love sculpture and I love sculpted things, but this much joy in this small of a package is just insane. I love them. Let's see if I can find the banner holder for this unit. These are the regular guys. Let me see if I can find the sprue that has the banner holder on it. The answer is no. No, I'm not going to find that sprue, because that sprue doesn't exist. That unit doesn't have a banner. They're all spearmen. And the banner that I found earlier looks like it was part of the either hero or command groups here and here. In this game, your regular infantry go on square bases. Your heroes and stuff go on circle bases, which I kind of like, because then it's very easy to identify those models, especially at such a, again, small scale. Here we have a different breed of monstrous infantry. These are just kind of gulpy frog boys, but without the special helmets and masks and stuff. And there are, I believe, 2 sprues of these. Yep, because there's the second one. So, and these are single model base. So you got 2 ranks of these. You got 8 of these guys. I'm not sure what they do on the table yet. I've got to get the rule book. By the way, the rule book is, if you buy the PDF, it is like two maybe €3. It's a very, very cheap and affordable PDF. I just have not bought it and printed it yet. That's the next thing on my to-do list, because I figured I wanted to get some models in hand. And then, because I've got, it's a starter army, I'm going to do everything. But they're also, by the time this comes out, they probably will have released the English print version of the rule book, which is also very affordable. I want to say less than $20. I want to say like 14, 15 euros, something like that. And I'm not really sure what that converts to in US dollars. But pretty affordable, or seems to be. And the starter armies themselves are also very affordable. They're about, I'll say 47 euro, 50 euros, something like that. For 68 models, that's a lot of tiny resin. Here's the regular sprue of the, what I thought was attached. These kind of go separately, I see now. And then the banner and the musician and all that stuff go on their own base. Here we go. Look at these guys. These are absolutely sick. One of the reasons that I love lizardmen is because it's one of those armies or those races, those species types, where there's really absolutely no wrong way to paint them, because reptiles come in an absolutely abundant plethora of colors, and you can just kind of go absolutely ham with your palette, and it's cool and it works. And that's one of the many reasons that I love lizards. Now, they also sent me this blister of Lizardmen Heroes. Now, I'm not certain if these go on bases by themselves or if it's like 2 of them, like the ones that are on the sprue together, go together. But let's see what we got here. So we got this sprue, which has a big old lizard. Look at look at that face and that little grin. Great texture on it. That's a phenomenal little model right there. Oh my goodness. And then we got, looks like some type of priest and high priest. Oh, and this guy's riding the lizard. Oh, yes. Yes, please and thank you. So again, I'm not sure. I think that because these 2 are on a sprue, like I think they would go together on one base. And then these would maybe go together on one base. So it looks like we got a, but maybe not, because this looks like a frog leader. Like he would go with the other unit of frogs with masks, like with these guys. Now, I don't think he necessarily has to join that unit, but he's like the same species type, like the super buffed out frog dudes. And then we've got this guy who looks like more, oh my goodness, look at his freaking cloak. Look at his little booty. But more importantly, look at his freaking cloak. Oh, holy shit. That is freaking sweet. Oh my goodness. That's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. He's got a little skull hanging on his belt. Oh yeah, these are going to be a joy to paint with. Most likely contrast is what I'm going to end up using here. As far as the heroes and stuff go, I'm probably going to wait to glue those to any kind of base until I get a hold of the rule book, and which will probably be next week. And print that out and figure out how I'm supposed to base these things. But the rest of the units, those I'm going to go ahead and start digging into probably the same day that I'm filming this, because I am incredibly excited to get this game on the table. If nothing else, like I will split what I have here into 2 sides and I will play against myself. And because I'm very, very excited. This game involves large handfuls of dice. But again, can be played on a fairly small area, small footprint. And just, Spellcrow, thank you so much for sending me this stuff. These are absolutely phenomenal. I am very, very, very excited to dig into the process of painting these. And again, like I mentioned earlier, you know, this is like, once I have everything washed, clean, based, this will probably take a day or 2 to paint this whole army, because the scale just doesn't require that much from you. And I love that. Oh, I'm so very, very excited. Thank you so much, Spellcrow. Looking forward to seeing some more models from the range over time, and just digging into this game. So back up for a minute, because I think I just answered my own question about the heroes. Because I say that because in that blister they sent, in that blister come 4 bases. So if there are 4 bases, then that should mean that each of these fellows goes on a base by themselves. At least that's how I'm going to math it out. Especially, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the heroes. Those sculpts, the guy riding the lizard with the Pope hat, all of that brings me great joy. So, that's what was in the box. This is going to be the future of my hobby desk for probably a week or 2. Because like I said, I'm going to try to my very best to have a go at filming some how to paint stuff, or some painting videos to go with this. I'm by no means an amazing painter, but I am a pretty above average tabletop painter. So we're gonna see how that goes. That's mainly gonna depend on what I can figure out as far as this. I think it's gonna depend much more on my camera operation abilities and my filming abilities than it will my painting abilities, because it's very different to film that kind of video than it is to film the normal battle rep content or just talking head, let's converse type video. But I'm going to try something new, and I'm going to see how it goes, and hopefully it turns out well for everybody, for y'all, so that you have an informative and fun piece of content, and me, so that it doesn't turn into a whole big old time sink that isn't worth showing anybody. Now, I'll talk just a little bit more about Argatoria and the model line. What the starter armies are by no means a full representation of the line for each of the armies. There are some other large, I say large, but like big models in small scale make me so happy. Like the little models make me happy, but when it's a big model, so for like the dinosaurs or for the lizard men, they have some Triceratops looking type models. And then the barbarian tribes have access to some big like war elephant type models, which are super, 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 super sweet. They also have a fairly extensive line of terrain that's in scale for it, like barbarian huts and lizard men buildings and stuff like that. All very, very, very affordable. Like if you were buying for just yourself, you could probably go into their store and come out at $100 or less to have like a fairly extensive army and some terrain to put on the table, as long as you have an opponent that has an army. If you're like me and you're the local person who's trying to get everybody to play all these new games with you, you could also go in and just pick up 2 starter armies, maybe a couple pieces of terrain, or if you have a 3D printer, I'm sure you could print the terrain yourself. And you can still come out for under $100 or out close to $100 and have everything you need to help get other people into the game in your local community. The models are beautiful. The price point is good. The scale is good, again, for ease of paint and ease of storage. I think Argatoria is going to be a slam dunk. I'm very excited to get these painted up, get some more models in my hands, and get them painted up and get the game on the table. for today, that's going to be it. I just probably went a little bit long, but whatever, you know. If you stuck around, hung out this long, consider checking out the Patreon, hitting the like, subscribe buttons. There will be links to Spellcrow as well as the Patreon in the description below. And I hope you have an absolutely amazing rest of your day. And as always, I'd like to say a big, huge, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to our patrons who support us and pledge to us over on Patreon. You guys are the absolute best. If you enjoyed the content you saw here today and that's something that you would like to consider doing to help out the channel, go over there, check out the link in the description, check out the Patreon. There's a lot of cool stuff over there, including access to our Discord server, talk to me, hang out with me, talk about our work, what we got going on in the hobby, some shout outs, all kinds of cool stuff. Check it out if that's something that you think you would be into. And regardless of whether or not you do that, I want you to know that I am incredibly grateful that you decided to stop by and spend part of your day with me today, rolling dice and pushing toy soldiers around. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And as always, may the dice be ever in your favor.